Okay. Here we have Amstrad Action. As per usual this time of the week. And we're at, staying up, issue number 52. AA's biggest issue. Biggest issue ever, apparently. It's still Britain's best-selling magazine for the CPC, 464-664-6128. Issue number 52, January 1990. £1.95. Because we got a free cassette. Well, you got a cassette with it. That costs an extra 50p. The dawn of a new age. Computing leaps into the 90s with CD breakthrough. Hey, Mr. Newsagent, I want my cover tape and I mean now. The Untouchables fully playable demo. Plus, Sun Crossword, wicked warped and word weaving. Gunslinger, rooting tooting 2-player action. Word processor, write that bestseller now. Typewriter, get those type-ins right. Tape to disk transfer, and easy start menus. Strider, Ghouls and Ghosts. Chart Smashers. Michael Jackson, Moonwalker, and Turbo Outrun. We've already seen Strider. These other 3 games are all in this issue, so we'll get to them eventually. The lineup: Amstrad Action, January 1990. Amscene, all the latest from the CPC world. Reaction: You sir, yes, you have the spotty tie and the megaphone. And Emma Broadley, will Codemasters miss its chance? Now, the Christmas cover tape. What's on it, how to load it, where to send the letters of praise for such a wonderful selection of software. Action begins on 47. Operation Thunderbolt. Operation Wolf gone berserk. Turbo Outrun. Did US School sequel leave the rest in a cloud of dust or stall on the line? More music stuff and whatever. Ghostbusters 2. Activision puts the wind up the rest with a classic film tie-in. Fantasy World Dizzy. Dizzy 3 is here and it's excellent. I get more egg puns, aren't we? Laser set to stun. Codebusters' fantastic CD games pack has rocked the industry. AA brings you the facts. Yeah, for no reason, because it won't appear. At least on this platform. Bigger than ever. Well, Christmas is here again, and as usual, there's an absolute bumper crop of new games. But that's not all. Lots of companies out there are turning out some really good serious software and utilities. Tech Ed Adam Waring is currently scouring the manufacturers for the latest and best CPC goodies, and whatever comes out, you'll read it here first. But what about when Christmas is over? Or one big long anti-climax? And a bit of it. Codemasters' astonishing new CD system is coming in right at the start of a new decade for the CPC and for Amstrad Action. We've got exciting plans for the future, with even more in-depth, up-to-date and informative coverage of the CPC scene. And with the results from AA's biggest survey yet being analysed right now, you can be sure we'll be bringing you yet more of what you want from your favourite magazine. But for now, best wishes from the AA team for a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The AA team, back row from left to right. Adam, mine's a large one, Wearing. Ollie, Bats Alderton. Trent Hunky Webb. Paul, graduated Tints Morgan. Front row from left to right. Elaine, I'm the normal one, Brooks. Rod, Übergruppenführer Lawton. Oh dear. Okay. Competition results. The 4th birthday competition winners named. The essential add-on. The Amstrad User Club. Send me membership details to the Amstrad User Club. I'm a resident in the UK. Oh. Well. Amscene. Codemasters CD Stunner. Darling Brothers released 30 games on one compilation on compact disc. Codemasters has rocked the gaming industry with its new CD games pack. What's amazing is not just that the games pack costs a mere £19.95, 67p per game, but that is with it you get both a lead to connect any domestic CD player to your CPC and a special loading software to load the games in. On the massive compilation will be such past hits as BMX Simulator, Pinball Simulator, Ninja Massacre, Fast Food, Treasure Island Dizzy, 4 Soccer Sims, and Fruit Machine. And although the quoted number of games is 30, it seems probable that it'll be more like 33 or 34 when the games pack goes on sale. But just as significant as the huge number of games on the compilation is Codemaster's decision to release them all on CD. CD-ROM drives are expensive and rare, and certainly not available for 8-bit home micros like the CPC. So Codemasters has instead saved the games on the CD as an audio signal, a far less efficient format than true CD-ROM, but one which nevertheless offers a huge 3 megabits of... This is 3 megabits, it's a lowercase b, 3 megabits of storage capacity on a single disc. The Taiwanese-made cables provided with the games pack connect between a standard domestic CD player's ear socket and the joystick port on the CPC. Codemasters chose to use the joystick port so that the leads could be the same for all 3 major 8-bit micros, thus keeping the cost down. Special circuitry inside the D connector at the joystick end converts the CD's audio signal into a binary form for loading into the machine. David Darling sitting on a gold mine? Although the CD will be working effectively just like a tape loader, the much cleaner CD signal and the built-in error checking incorporated in CD players allows games to load far quicker, as quickly as 20 seconds for some games in fact. This plus the fact that any CD player will let you go straight to a selected track at will puts the games pack's performance more in line with the disk drives. Selling games on compact disc has been tried before. Robo Arts sold a 6-game compilation on CD for the C64 not so long back. But at £30 and being for the C64 only, it was of minority interest and offered nothing like the value of the Codemasters product. But how many compilations can Codemasters bring out now that the technology is there? The company has a huge back catalogue, but at 30 games a time, it can't last long. No, the point is that Codemasters will first of all establish a huge potential user base with this first astonishing bargain. Not only will the darlings be able to release new compilations at a lower price, but they'll also be able to develop whole new styles of games that use the enormous storage capacity of a CD. So can we expect to see a 3000 screen Dizzy? Or film tie-ins with screen after screen of digitised graphics and full-length soundtracks? The games pack may be astonishing value at £19.95. But even more astonishing is the potential offered by the sudden accessibility of CD storage. Amstrad speaks out. AA Tech Ed Adam Waring managed to collar Amstrad's Market Services Manager, Chris Ansley, at the Shopper Show. How hard is Amstrad pushing the CPC? Adam wanted to know. What about the CPC console? Here's what we got out of him. Will you be advertising the CPC on TV over Christmas? We're advertising the Spectrum Action Pack on television. I don't think we'll be doing the CPC as well. It wouldn't be a good idea to advertise both of them on television because obviously they're selling in the same market. Is there any scope for price reductions for the home computers, especially the CPC? I doubt it. If there's some extra margin, we tend to offer more. With the Spectrum, we offer the Action Pack with the light gun. I suppose with the CPC, you're doing the TV modulator. Well, quite. We're giving it free with the colour versions. It has a perceived value of £60. It works extremely well, I might add, because the colour monitor that comes with the CPC started life as a portable television chassis and tube, and quite a good quality one at that. One of the reasons why CPCs have been very reliable machines. The tuner gives a picture which is as good as any 14-inch portable colour TV. Have sales increased dramatically since you bundled the tuner with the machine? You can't really tell because sales are so seasonal. Having exactly the right stocks available is difficult. No manufacturer wants to be landed with huge stocks in the new year, and so we have often undersold at Christmas. If we had more stock, we could have sold more. The CPU sales are still very buoyant. Some of the press at the PC show were trying to write it off, putting two and two together and making about 64. There's a fair bit of life in the CPC yet. Is there anything in the pipeline you can tell me about? Well, obviously any company such as Amstrad will always be developing new products, some of which will see the light of day, but it's not our policy to comment on things we might or might not be doing in the future. Is there anything you can tell me about the rumours of a console based on the CPC? At any time we're looking at things, developing things. There are things that we've developed that have never hit the market, which nobody outside Amstrad ever knew about. If people knew about those, goodness knows what the rumours would be. Rumours. Shopper Show 89. The 24th to 26th of November saw the launch of a brand new computer show aimed specifically at the buying public rather than those impersonal trade-only shows. The first computer shopper show has plenty to offer the CPC user. The show didn't boast any major new launches for the CPC. It's not that kind of event. The shopper show is all about selling, and if it's bargains you're after, then you've come to the right place. It was the box pushers that dominated the show, and you could pick up anything from dirt cheap discs to cut price printers, and still have enough left over to give a few bob to the official show-sponsored charity, Childline. The 3-day event saw a total of 27,686 paying visitors pass through its doors, many more than the expected turnout of 20,000. The fundraisers netted £1,875 for charity, and people actually had to be turned away on the Sunday as Alexandra Palace was crammed to bursting point. Next year, a much larger show is planned, and the venue has already been named. See you at Wembley, folks! Not such a mini office. Mini Office, a suite of business programs from Shopper Show organisers' database, has just reached the 500,000 mark in sales. The package became popular because of its full implementation of business programs at a very affordable price. It has been a top choice for serious CPC users. The original Mini Office has sold 200,000 units before being revamped and re-released as Mini Office 2, which carried on to become one of the hottest sellers in the history of home computer software. The original package is now even cheaper, costing a mere £2.99 from Summit Software, includes a word processor, database, spreadsheet, and business graphics programs. Mini Office 2 costs $14.95 on tape and $19.95 on disc. Lessons to be learned. Database has had a very busy month. The firm is also celebrating selling 60,000 copies of Fun School 2, the widely acclaimed series of educational programs. The software, designed by teachers for several different age groups, astounded everybody, not least the publishers themselves, when it leapt to the top-selling software charts, usually exclusively dominated by games. The firm's success in getting non-game titles into the charts is attributed to the software being low cost, well written, and produced across a whole range of computers. They had some of it cut off. Christmas Adventure. If you go under the pseudonym of Brian Bloodaxe, or Scourge of the Troll, or even the Borog, then you must be one of those adventuring types who solves tricky problems and hack dragons. Topologica, the adventure specialist, can supply your Christmas rations for fewer gold pieces than previously. Its top adventure programs, including Avon, Asheton, Countdown to Doom, and Philosopher's Quest, are available for the Yuletide season at only £11.95, the usual price being $14.95. The games are also discounted a further 10% for additional games bought, and up to a maximum of 30% on 4 or more adventures. DTP update. 2 rival DTP packages hit the headlines this month. Both have been on the market for some time, but have been relaunched by the publishers. SD Microsystems has relaunched Page Publisher, originally a very low-key release marketed by the package's programmer. SD has added proper packaging and is advertising the product to a wider audience. Normally retailing at £24.95, it can be bought at a special launch price of £19.95. If you buy more, the if you buy before the end of January. Talk to SD Microsystems. Microsoft's Fleet Street editor has seen a major update to its capabilities. The original version was slammed by the press as being altogether too little too late. Hopefully, the improvements will have gone a long way towards rectifying this. The package retains its $39.99 price tag and existing users can upgrade for a tenner. Sexist software. Oasis, the organisation against sexism in software, has just completed its first year. The pressure group was set up by outraged feminists after the release of such products as barbarian and strip poker games, which portray female sexual stereotypes in their advertising and game content. Like-minded persons can join the organisation by sending the £3 membership fee to Sandra Vogel, 3 Alden Court, Stanley Road, Wimbledon, London. Board game Monopoly. Leisure Genius is attempting to sweep the board of game compilations with the launch of its new triple pack of tape classics. The company has combined CPC versions of Scrabble, Cluedo, and Monopoly for $19.99. Disc users get Monopoly and Cluedo for the same price. Ideal for all those people who need to know who done it, who sold it, and how to spell it. On the Edge. The Edge is back in town, this time touting its new shoot-'em-up Darius. Plus, a horizontally scrolling blast out of the game sets you the task of saving the world in a subaquatic battle for survival. 28 levels of mayhem are promised as you face up to nasties armed with some of the most evil weaponry mankind has ever conceived. AI will be getting stuck in just as soon as the game arrives. I don't think it does. Hard driving, hard coding. As the roads get jammed with racing games, Domark has finished the long-awaited conversion of hard driving. Not merely a game, this is actually a simulator, where learning to drive comes first and going fast comes later. You are put behind the wheel of a car that handles like a racer, but looks like a Cortina. There are 2 tracks to race on, a speed circuit and a stunt course, both featuring the Phantom Photon as an opponent. It has all those lovely little features like oversteer and manual gear change, just to make life more interesting as it looks like the wait has been worthwhile. It uses 3D, the like of which it can only be dreamed of before, and the results are breathtakingly complex. The freescape-style track moves fast, very fast, and any accidents are painfully reenacted from the side-on viewpoint. So you see yourself fly through the air and into trucks. The L plates will be off next month for full review. The game has been coded by Binary Design, the team which brought us Shinobi. Mike Day is the member of the team who has been doing the hard number crunching, and he's been working on the project since July. He claims to be a Z80 specialist, and on first inspection, this doesn't appear to be an idle boast. Right. Games without frontiers. With 1992 drawing ever closer, continental software houses are beginning to move in on the British market. Soon to hit these shores are new games from Ubisoft, Rainbow Arts, and Infogrames. Ubisoft kicks off with a bevy of new products that includes Pro Tennis Tour and Puffy Saga. One is a straight sports sim that was critically well received on the other formats, while Puffy is a cutesy game that has a lovable little bull creature wandering around through a trap-filled maze. Both games should be here very shortly. Rainbow Arts has broken its long CPC silence with rock and roll. In the game, you control a ball that has to be guided around a maze collecting all kinds of goodies such as keys and cash. Accompanied by jolly tunes and lurid colours, the game looks frustratingly good fun. I will be having a ball with it next month, so stay tuned for more rock and roll. Rock and roll the spheroidal way. Rainbow Arts has also announced something of a coup in prizing the programmers of Forgotten Worlds away from Capcom Converters US Gold for another project, X-Out. Few details have been released as yet, but all the details on the ARC development crew will be here next month. Infogrames, which launched in Tintin series this month with On the Moon, has announced that it is planning a number of follow-up projects. Red Rackman's Treasure is first on the list and will follow the comic book closely for both plot and action scenes. It's already been coded and should be here in the following year. Let's hope Infogrames has got over the euphoria of the license that led to such a weak opener on the gameplay front in Tintin on the Moon. See full review this issue. Punch Up. Budget licenses are a relatively new phenomenon in gaming circles, but are the forte of alternative software. Following the success of Postman Pat, Alternative is now launching 2 more games aimed directly at the younger market. Punch and Judy have arrived, that's the way to do it, Ed, and soon to follow are the adventures of Sooty and Sweep. This is a new approach to games marketing. If the games are as successful as Pat, then we should see a whole new market blossoming for licensed product at ridiculously good prices. Look, no hands! Sooty and Sweep Alternative, pull some strings. Reaction, the GPO lowers in another skipful of letters by Industrial Tower Crane. CPC obsolete? In the latest edition of Amstrad Action, you have 2 articles which comment on the future of the Amstrad CPC 6128. The first indicates that Dixons are going to liquidate their stocks at £250 a unit, and the second that Amstrad will be marketing a console unit. These 2 articles follow others concerning software manufacturers who intend no longer to develop products for the CPC range. I'm now asking myself whether there is any future in the machine and if I should not be looking into another system for future investment in equipment. I use my CPC 6128 for my small business and run Brunning's InfoScript and SuperCalc 2. I have a 256k memory extension. My daughters also use the system for games and AMX Stop Press and EasyArt. I'm considering purchasing a second system and a second disk drive. This would be a waste if shortly the CPC is obsolete and there is difficulty in finding software disks and spares. An investigative report from your Fearless magazine would, I am sure, produce the answers to these issues. At the moment I can only speculate in the probable outcome. D.H. Arbuckle in Gatestone, Essex. Well, Mr. Arbuckle, rumours about the CPC's discontinuation have been going the rounds for as long as we can remember, and look set to carry on for as long again before the machine actually is dropped. The point is, it's a good steady stellar that makes Amstrad money. Until that changes, the machine will carry on. Built like a tank. Yeah, it's built like a tank. As for being obsolete, if it does what you need to, there hardly seems any reason to upgrade. As long as there are CPCs out there, people will still write software for them, so I wouldn't have any worries on that score. As far as obtaining spares in the future is concerned, Amstrad will have stocks of spares long after the machine is discontinued. Anyway, the CPC is an extremely reliable machine. In the words of Adam Waring, our technical editor, is quite simply built like a tank. Sizist comments. Why have you not reviewed Carrier Command? I bought it on release day and eagerly waited for a Master Game review. If it's because Rainbow didn't send a copy of for review, then up them, I suppose. Oh yeah, 6128 only, so to Michael Hayes of Lanx, issue 51. I think all 64k Amstrad users should be held at gunpoint and made to upgrade to 128k, so all software houses would take advantage of the extra memory. Well, I know Ocean usually do, so I'm collecting all the new software now. Hey, will go on forever, won't it? I've convinced myself it's not worth upgrading to the Amiga, as my 6128 is too good a friend, so at least I'll be buying forever. Well, thanks for reading this letter and keep this good mad going. Phil Brown, Hatfield, Hertz. P.S. If printed, please say hi to Joe, Tim and Tracy. Please, they would love you forever. There's Carry Command. Why didn't AA review Carrier Command? The reason we never reviewed Carrier Command is that, as you rightly surmised, we never got a review copy. We still don't know whether this had anything to do with the fact that it was a blatant spicky port. As for making 64K on his upgrade at gunpoint, surely they've got something to say about that. What, me a troublemaker? No, never. And yes, AA will go on forever, unlike some other CPC mags which just seem to go on forever. Okay. A Bard's Tale. This poem was penned during a burst of inspiration brought on by my husband and two sons, aged 5 and 3, abandoning me in the tea table to use the computer. Maybe it will strike a chord with a few wives who, like me, have a mild interest in computers and scan through AA when their husbands are out. Keep up the good work. You keep him happy for hours. Mrs. Susan Bertram Bolton Lanks. Now, we were married some 8 years ago. Since day one, I've been a computer widow. Night after night, I've sat knitting, while all the computer keys he's hitting. How quick they travel up and down, accompanied by a smile, often a frown. Seasons come and seasons go, spring, summer, autumn, and winter with snow. A new game is purchased, so I'll have to go. Don't think I'll ever make a golfing pro. A new house now, that is it. First priority, where will the computer fit? Can I really take the strain, or should I leave on the next train? But now at last, after 8 long years, there's an end in sight to all my fears. If it can't be beat, then let's join in. I pick up the art package and what's within. Can be used for fabric and knitting design. All kinds of ideas run through my mind. What will the next 8 years hold in store? Who will use the computer more? And will it be for knitting or for fun? Or will we both be beaten by our oldest son? At 5 years old, he's already hooked. I can see the computer will be fully booked. Follow that, no unsinging thoughts. Putting the record straight. I'm writing to you so you can get your facts straight. In the June 89 issue of your mag, you had a footy special. And on page 40, you have a column saying some football firsts. Well, when I say this, I am speaking for all of St. Helens and West Auckland, both next to each other. You say that in 1930, July, Uruguay won the first World Cup. Yes, you've got it. You're wrong. West Auckland won it. You beat Juventus. I do not know the date, but we won it. Lipton's World Cup, as it is our WMC. P.S. If you want proof, I will get it. I love the mag. M. Shepherd Durham. Well, how extraordinary. We can't imagine how we came to overlook such a blunder. However, just for being a smarty, you'll get no prize. Ho ho. Untitled. Every mag, every shop, but nowhere can I find a computer video titling set for the CPC 464. I'm now having to look for a specky, but at least it has a titling prog. Please, can you save me and tell me, is there one? Daniel Bourne, London. We don't know of one, but then if someone out there knows better. Vive la différence. Being new to the computer scene, I've been buying different mags to see what software availability there is for the different machines available. Okay. I've decided to go for an Amstrad CPC 6128. I saw your mag in my local print paper shop, and I must say it was the best magazine out of many I had read. Though I was surprised at C. Harrison's remarks about the price. I would imagine he is still buying the magazine and will see this letter simply for information, news, reviews, and much more. £1.45 is great value nowadays compared to some of the comics I read through. Definitely worth subscribing to. Finally, the Broadly column seems to imply that the only advantage between cassette and disc is disc faster loading. Is the software available on CPC disc exactly the same as that on tape, except for price? Gordon Mackey, Fife, Scotland. Gosh, thanks for the word of praise. In answer to your question, there is a great deal of serious software for the CPC which will only work on the 6128 with extra memory. In these cases, the programs are supplied on disk only and will not work on the 464. Also, while the rest of the programs available, including nearly all games, are pretty much identical on both tape and disc, it's easy to underestimate the far greater convenience, reliability, and general time saving that comes from disc-based software. The AA cover tape, absolutely beyond price. That's why there isn't one. Free advice. The enclosed tape was purchased from a post office for 50p. They had a box of assorted Amstrad and other computer companies' tapes all at 50p. The first one I purchased did not work, and on taking it back to the shop, was given this one in exchange. It too does not work, so I am returning it to you for your views. I have been looking for a copy of this tape, so if you can replace it, I would be appreciated. However, it seems to me that this particular shop is trying to sell tapes that should have been returned to the companies, having been returned by other customers on being found to be faulty. Right, I'm not missing anything here. Yeah. Trying to sell tapes that should have been returned to the companies, having been returned by other customers on being found to be faulty. If so, they should not be resold. Mr. M. Long, Malvern, Walks. A tad naughty, methinks. In fact, we spoke to the proprietor concerned, and he assured us whilst being toasted over hot coals that the cassette must have fallen in the box by mistake. Whatever the whys and wherefores, AA cover tapes are not for resale. They are given away free as part of the magazine. Everyone out there listening, some news agents, especially little con socks, are in the habit of taking the tapes off, storing them behind the computer, and reuniting them with the magazine only when someone buys it. So, if there's no tape on the cover, ask for one. What do you mean? It's not free. The magazine goes up by 50p each time you put a cover tape on. Talk to me. My mum wants to get a dictaphone, is what she calls it. Thing for speaking through a microphone and the words come up on the screen. Can you get one for the CPC? Jonathan Wilson, Logeley, County Armagh. The good news is that it has been done. The bad news is that it has been done on a CPC. Getting a computer to recognise speech is very difficult indeed, because people speak at different speeds, with different accents, and so on. So I'm afraid the simple answer is no. Best is yet to come. I remember about this time last year, there were many people writing into your Fab magazine asking if you thought that Christmas '88 would be their last stand for CPC games. Admittedly, there was considerable evidence to support their case, but look at what happened since. If anything, the CPC market has grown, especially with the recent price cuts. Increasingly, Arnold versions of games are becoming the best of the 8-bits, and with French software houses supplying only STs and us, not the Spickies or C64s, the future looks anything but bleak. Programmers have reached the limits of the above too, but not the Arnold, well, apart from Purple Saturn Day. What I'm saying is, don't upgrade yet, fellow Amsters. There's more to come. E.M. Sunderland. Give that man a cigar. You do smoke, don't you? But it's time for that woman. Broadly speaking, Emma Broadly sinks her teeth into Amstrad's advertising allocations, and will Codemasters make the most of the CD games pack? Plus, the end of the sex and violence debate. Yeah, more that woman. Codemasters has pulled off a major coup with its new CD games pack, but will it capitalise on its success? What people, possibly even the Darling brothers themselves, seem to lose sight of is the sheer technical achievement. Purists will call it a bodge, but the point is it works. No, instead everyone is raving about the number of games on the CD. which makes about as much sense as Sir Francis Drake commenting on the quality of the Spanish cannonballs. So what makes the CD games pack so important? Certainly it's not the 30 budget games on the disc. No, it's the technology Codemasters has developed that's fascinating. Forget expensive and esoteric CD-ROM drives that only 1% of the population will be able to afford anyway. Codemasters has produced a system which requires no additional hardware and brings mass CD storage to the masses, all for the price of a 16-bit game. Practical solutions. The Codemasters solution is decidedly low-tech, and it's also very simple. The maximum capacity of the Games Pack CD is probably no more than 3 megabits. I think they mean 3 megabytes. Should be an uppercase B if you're doing megabytes. Lowercase b is megabits. Well, a true CD-ROM disc will hold near 600 megabytes. And with the Games Pack, you have to operate your CD player manually, as opposed to a true CD-ROM drive, which is controlled automatically by the computer. But Codemasters has still turned domestic CD players into a potential disc drives that even tape-based 464 owners can use. Admittedly, the CD player will work more like a tape loader since the data is recorded as an audio signal rather than digitally. I think it's still digital. But the ability to select tracks instantaneously, coupled with the much faster loading speed and far higher reliability, puts the CD player far closer to a disc drive than a tape loader in actual performance. These loading speeds could, combined with a CD's immense storage capacity, hold the key to an entirely new generation of CPC applications. These are gone into more detail in the special CD Games Pack feature on page 35 of this issue. But quite simply, the potential is breathtaking. Cashing in. But will anything come of it? The Darlings may be experts in the production and marketing of budget software, but have they spawned something potentially bigger than they are? A series of innovations that Codemasters has come up with, leads containing audio-digital signal conversion circuitry, loading via the joystick port, etc., are interesting, but not entirely remarkable. Most competent hardware-software engineers could have solved the technical problems. Individually, Codemasters has, however, solved the problems en masse. And a solution to the whole problem is worth 100 times more than merely solutions to all the little problems that make it up. It's making the system work, not just the components. Now, if it was me, I would sell that solution harder than I would sell any specific CD game or compilation. There must be more than a few software houses out there which would loathe to attempt the same development feat themselves, but which would be more than interested in paying a small consideration to be able to use Codemasters' tried and tested methods. Maybe it's time the Darlings changed gear, especially if they can continue to turn out highly innovative and supremely practical products like the CD Games Pack. The way I see it, the Darlings have a decision. They can either let a golden opportunity slip away or become a major force in computing. Brawley Brickbats. If you've got something to say about Ms. Brawley's column or the opinions therein, write to Brawley Brickbats, Amstrad Action. Ms. Brawley's opinions are not necessarily those of the editorial team. We should also point out that anyone wishing to take issue with Ms. Brawley on any of the topics covered may well be refused medical insurance. Amstrad wrong again. Astonishing, Amstrad is spending a paltry £600,000 on promoting the CPC this Christmas, while £2.5 million are being thrown away on pushing the Spectrum. It seems that the CPC will only be advertised in the national press, while the Spectrum Action Pack will be on the TV. Quite why Amstrad should put so much money behind the Spectrum is quite beyond me. The CPC is plainly the superior machine in every technical respect. The only possibility I can think of is that they don't need to push the CPC. While countless millions of unsold Spectrums are mouldering away on warehouse shelves in some forgotten corner of the globe. Otherwise, Amstrad's decision makes no sense whatsoever. But then, what's new? The last word. I write in support of Miss Broadley. Usually I agree with her, and even when I don't, hers is most often the only sensible voice in the magazine. I'm not being patronising. Ms. Brawley writes often about gratuitous sex in computer games. The Turbo Combat Droid Sex Brigade try to shout her down, But the fact is that AA often has a distinctly seedy appearance, what with its seamy adverts and mindless text. This is having a long-term effect. The number of women studying computing seriously is falling rapidly, even though the opportunities in computing have never been better. Britain desperately needs all the brains it can get. So could Ms. Brawley persuade AA to run a competition along the lines of £50 for the best game and £50 for the best utility for the CPC written by women? It would show that AA really cared. It could reverse a trend and should be good for business. Tony Clark, Leicester. Well, thanks for the support, Tony. Well, I agree with most of the things you say. The idea for a competition does pose problems. The main one is that it's about the most sexist proposal I've ever heard of. It would imply that women were incapable of competing with men on an equal basis, and you can imagine what I think of that. As for your comments about AA generally, I'm afraid I can't agree with you there either. I am paid for my contributions, but I could happily manage without the money. I could also write for another magazine, but AA is frankly the best. You are right, however, in that computing is a male-dominated field filled with male-dominated imagery. However, Rod's told me off for digressing in recent weeks. From now on, my brief is firmly CPC computing and nothing else. Thanks anyway. 100% dynamite. Afterburner, Last Ninja 2, WC Le Mans, and Double Dragon. 4 explosive hits and 1 special compilation from Ocean. Fastest, most thrilling 3D driving game yet. Take the wheel of your turbocharged Porsche as you and your partner go in pursuit of dangerous criminals and driving an evil array of souped-up roasters. Turbo boost. Need to catch up in a hurry? Well, just one press of your turbo button will leave your eyes in the back of your head. Burrowing through the city streets, along the roughest dirt tracks, and through busy tunnels. If you don't hold the line, the lowlife can run, but they can't hide. Chase HQ. Ocean Software Limited. Arcade Game of the Year. Okay. The AA Christmas cover tape. It's that time of year again when socks are getting nailed to walls and final demands are being written to Santa. Yes, Christmas is heading this way, and to help spread the cheer, here's a sensational seasonal AA cover tape, crammed with goodies. The Untouchables by Ocean, on side 1. Hey boss, looks like we're going to get a good one this year. You know, we've got to take a stroll around Chicago and put an end to that sucker Capone. I'd like to fill him full of lead. Back you go to the heady days of Prohibition. You're a G-man, a special breed of untouchable government agent whose job it is to bring an end to Al Capone and his mercenaries. Oh, and don't take kindly to bribes, beer, and broads. You play Elliot Ness, leader of the Untouchables, and must obtain sufficient evidence to imprison the nefarious Al Capone. The boss, can't I pump him with slugs? The full game consists of 6 levels in which you have to uncover the evidence for Al Capone's conviction. I'd much rather shoot him, boss. Go on, give me the chance. Help Elliot Ness in his hour of need. Save Chicago from that naughty gangster and his alcoholic plots. On second thoughts, shoot Elliot and carry on bootlegging. Hey, boss, just confusing me. The cover tape actually contains the whole of level 3, where Elliot Ness and his buddies must wipe out the gangsters in the alleyways. You're making your way to Chicago Central Station to stop Al Capone's accountant escaping. Fire by moving the crosshairs and duck behind the wall to reload. Sun Crossword by Acom, Side 2. Sun readers haven't been persecuted for a long time, accused of stupidity and supposedly not caring who is Prime Minister so long as she is big. There's enough of that, he'd. Well, time to prove doubting readers of other newspapers otherwise, because on the cover tape you'll find a usable demo of Acom's superb Sun Computer crosswords. Rewind to the beginning of Side 2 and the AA cover cassette and type Run Sun. So many choices, so little time to pick them all. Followed by a followed by a stab at the return button. Press 1 to hit return when prompted for a crossword puzzle. The puzzle will load and you'll be set to play. A crossword will appear on screen and the prompt will ask you for a clue number. Simply follow all the prompts and you won't go wrong. Extra clues are available, snigger, if you have trouble. Failing that, the solution can be called up. But you won't resort to that, will you? Gunslinger by Dominic Walsh, Side 2. Remember the good old days of Boot Hill, the wonderful arcade game in which you took on the role of a cowboy and had to shoot your opponent before he shot you? Now you can reenact those days with Dominic's wonderful Boot Hill clone, Gunslinger. The game is for 2 players, and each person controls the on-screen hombre by using the keyboard. The idea is simple: dodge your opponent's bullets while trying to blast bullets into his body. You have 5 lives, first one to 0 loses. And now, the key controls. You can find Gunslinger on side 2 of the cover cassette. If we rewind to around halfway, type run gunsling.bash, and then press return or return to the beginning of side 2 and enter run or run menu. Don't worry if the character set looks a little strange when the game is loading. This is because Gunslinger uses most of the user-defined graphics, and some letters become bits of cowboy or rock. To reset the graphics to normal, you'll have to reset the computer when you've had enough of gunfighting. Word Processor by Carl Harrison, Side 2. Everyone has to write a letter at some stage, whether it's to an outer Mongolian pen pal or for a job application in AA. Doing the dirty with a typewriter is one way, but unless you're a proficient typist, you'll end up with a letter that consists of more Tipp-Ex than paper. Pen and paper is another, but if your handwriting is anything like Rod's, you're not safe to be let loose with a biro, believe me. The only other alternative is to use a word processor. Unfortunately, they don't come cheap, unless of course you have access to the AA cover tape. Conveniently enough, there's a fabulous text editor on the cassette from Carl Harrison. It's written in BASIC, but don't that put you off, as it is feature-packed, fast enough, and very easy to use. Just look at some of the features available. Word and character counting, good printer support with 20 printer character control codes, including NLQ 80-column editing, 26 color palette for border, color, and pen. Full cursor control, beginning of line, end of line, top of document, bottom of document, with just 2 keystrokes. Character conversion to upper or lower case, file managing, file encryption and decryption. Run the word processor by rewinding to near the beginning of side 2 and typing in run wp.base. Alternatively, rewind to the beginning of side 2 and type run or run menu. Following the word processor on the tape is a document called read.me. This contains the full operating instructions. Run Carl's word processor and elect to load a document, option 3, and then view the text file by hitting the edit button, key 2 in the main menu. To return to the main menu, when editing a document, press Ctrl and M simultaneously. Typewriter by Pat McDonald. Here's that thing again. It does little codes on the typins. It couldn't be easier to load the AA Christmas cover tape. All you have to do is press Ctrl and small enter. As usual, and a menu of options will duly appear. Simply press the number of the program you want, and it will load in automatically. To save time, you can always fast forward, but the right program will load even if you don't. Here's a CD games pack. Here's your list of games. BMX Simulator, Super Stuntman, Fruit Machine, Pro Snooker, Super Robin Hood, 3D Starfighter, Pinball Sim, Inter Rugby Sim, Deathstalker, BMX Freestyle, Dizzy, Super G-Man, ATV Sim, Ghost Hunter, Street Football, Jet Bike Sims, SAS Combat, Bigfoot, Ninja Massacre, Fast Food, Arcade Flight Sim, BMX Simulator 2, The Hit Squad, Transmuter, Woohoo! Pro Skateboard, Pro Ski Sim, Vampire, 4 Soccer Sim, Twin Turbo V8, and Treasure Island Dizzy. Specifications correct at time of going to press. Now you can load computer games from your compact disc player. Advantages of compact disc games: instant track game selection, mega fast loading, as little as 20 seconds, maximum reliability, virtually no load errors, digitally mastered, digitally mixed, digitally recorded, DDD. Massive storage capacity allows for many games on one compact disc. Easy to use. It includes CD cable to connect your CD player to your computer, software to allow ultra high speed loading, Compact disc containing 30 excellent games. Full instructions how to load and play the games. Spectrum Commodore 64 and Amstrad CPC. The action starts here. Yeah, if only they actually got it done. At least on the Amstrad they didn't. Here's the Magnum Light Phaser. Magnum Light Phaser brings an exciting new dimension to playing computer games. Get a grip on a Magnum and experience the exhilaration of the ultimate shootout on your own computer. Available for your Amstrad CPC cassette or CPC disc. Retail price £34.95. Plus 6 free games. Basically one good one in 5 other games. Home Sweet Home. Adam Yuppie Waring finds out why he's got behind on the Porsche repayments with ST Microsystems Home Executive Suite. Good news, well written. Can print out on Filofax compatible sheets. Bad news, shopping list and calculator of dubious usefulness. Not as full featured as it could have been. Nemesis, the original Middlers. Yes, Bonzo's Dooda's back. Twitch on 3K format and much more. The best I've seen in a long time. I recommended AA June 87. That was a while ago. The Nemesis Adventures. Way back in 1984, PCW commented Nemesis text adventures are like a breath of fresh air. The same holds good for 1990. 5 adventures from brawn free to a grief encounter. Oof. Greetings. Christmas Cracker. Hackett, £34.99. Siren Software. Adam Waring, the man who is to machine code what Arnold Schwarzenegger is to grape crushing. Check out Siren Software's Hackett. Ooh. Win a t-shirt. Siren Software, bless its little cotton socks, is giving away 10 t-shirts to AA readers. Just to see how on the ball you all are, they're going to the first 10 postcards marked, if it's free, I want one, and sent to AA at the usual address. You're nicked. Just about everyone out there must have worked out by now that piracy is illegal. But what about devices that make piracy possible? Romantic Robots Multiface seemed to fall foul of the recently published Copyright Designs and Patents Act, and that it was a device enabling users to make illegal copies of copyrighted software. But Multiface does have a bona fide purposes too. That's why it's still on sale. Hackett is not such an effective copier as Multiface. It does let you break easily into code, and so, technically, it lets pirates attempt to circumvent copy protection routines. But then, any experienced coder could do that anyway. We spoke to Bob Hay of FAST. From what you tell me, he said, the device is not dedicated to copying software, and so is unlikely to breach current legislation. And if someone uses it to break into programs and disable copy protection to produce copies, piracy is illegal, and those caught distributing pirated software will be prosecuted. But what about people just making a few copies for their friends? That too is illegal. You have been warned. Hackett versus Multiface. Hackett is not designed for copying programs. It is designed purely for hacking into them, examining and altering code. By its very nature, it can only be used by those competent in machine code, and so is not suitable for those requiring a backup utility. Multiface, on the other hand, is designed for making backup copies of programs, and is especially useful for those who buy games on tape but would like to load them from disk. It has some limited hacking ability, but only allows you to examine a byte in hex, with a rather slow update window, making laborious to use. But good news, powerful commands for the dedicated hacker. Bad news, user unfriendly for the novice. Doesn't leave all memory intact. Art package, art for art's sake. An art package for less than £6? The suspicious Adam Waring investigates. Art the easy way. $5.95 cassette, $8.95 disc. By John Peckham. Good news, cheap and easy to use. Offers a multitude of features. Bad news, can be slow. Selection of some features not well implemented. No more sleep for you. A load of spheres from Adam. Here's one we prepared earlier. Okay, well, it wasn't us exactly. Amstrad Action. A house for reasons. Mastering MIDI. Money no object? We hope not. As it's time to choose that MIDI synthesizer. James Pinto bites the bullet and starts counting out the folding stuff. To be realistic, I'll set the price note for this guide at £1,700. Oh. Yeah. I assume the majority of A readers are not professional musicians, or mad either, I hasten to add. Yamaha DX7 II. Find if you have a friendly bank manager. The DX11. True story. The music shop manager was absolutely insistent, a picture of injured innocence. Oh yes, I'm sure, sir, the list price on that particular keyboard has been raised. Well, in effect, yes, I suppose the price has gone up £300, but it's the new list price, sir. His voice trailed off as he realised he'd lost the sale. I left chuckling, knowing for a fact that this was being economical with the truth on a grand scale. I brought my equipment elsewhere, and I haven't been back. Perhaps he's still there, getting away with a shameful trick. It's vital to decide at first how much you're willing to pay for your MIDI equipment. Shop around. So often you can go into a music shop and see a keyboard at one price and then walk into a different shop and see the same keyboard for £200 less. Be on your guard at all times. Try to use the prices in this article as a guide. They're as accurate as possible. Whatever happens, don't pay more than what I quote for any keyboard. Good luck, and beware the silver tongue of the smiling synthesizer shop salesman. Next month, the AA Guide to Samplers. Ooh. Yeah, the Korg M1. Super sound quality at a super price. Well, how much is it? Between £800 and £1,700. The M1 uses AI synthesis to create sounds. Oh, okay. Where's next? Epic's Action. Five all action games. Data Electronics. This is going to be another 4-page advert. There's 2 pages. There's 3. 3 pages. CD Revolution. Budget software house Codemasters isn't the sort of company you'd normally associate with earth-shattering innovation. But with their CD-based games pack, the Darlings have rocked the industry. Rod Lawton talks to director David Darling, while Adam Waring brings you the technical details. The Codemasters team works from a converted farm near Leamington Spa. We were shown through the bustling offices to David Darling's inner sanctum. Hold all calls, he told the receptionist, then settled back into his chair, smiling as he waited for AA's barrage of questions. David, it seems incredible to offer the CD games pack for £20. On the basis of the software alone, those games are going for about 66p each. Will you make any money? Will it harm sales of the games individually? We won't make as much as we hoped, to be honest. When we first thought of it, we just thought it was a brilliant idea and did the costing very roughly. But it has cost us a lot more than we thought it would. We'll definitely make a profit, but we won't make an amazing profit. But I think it's very good for our reputation and very good for the company. As for the CD affecting sales of the individual games, we obviously consider that seriously. We have a substantial percentage of the individual singles market. We also had the choice of selling them at $29.99 or $19.99. But we thought the lower price was much, much more attractive one. And that at that price, it could be the Christmas number 1. Really? Number 1? There's some very, very good games on there. It's exciting because it's on CD, which is new, and on the Amstrad it's the first time it's been done. And the loading times are so fast, it's a way of upgrading your machine without chucking it in the bin and buying an Amiga. If you can do it at that price, and then keep advertising it, you can keep selling it for months because it's such good value. Rather than if it's $29.99 and it's more than just a gift, and it's only going to be successful at Christmas. So, when did you first have the idea of doing a CD compilation? Back in February. There's obviously been quite a lot of planning and research then. Yes, Richard, darling, went to Taiwan to organise it all, and to organise some other things, but that's still secret. I suppose as well that if you plan to do future releases along the same line, then by doing it at £20, you give yourself a much larger user base right from the start. Yes, because we can get loads and loads of cables out there and then sell the special CD games to those people at a cheaper price because they've already got the cables. Coming back to the games, we thought that if somebody buys the compact disc, then they get all the games, so they obviously won't buy those games themselves individually. They're bound to show it to their friends. They'll show people Treasure Island Dizzy, Twin Turbo, BMX and so on, games that they may not have seen before, and if they're really impressed with them, they'll go out and buy them individually, assuming they can't afford to buy the CD. So it could help to promote the games just as much as they detract from individual sales. What about the CPC specifically? How is Amstrad doing as far as you're concerned? We sell more games on the Spectrum, but we sell nearly as many on the Amstrad. I think that's because we've built up quite a reputation on the Amstrad with the Oliver twins and Peter Williamson. And a lot of our big games are actually developed on the Amstrad. So do you have any Amstrad specific projects in mind? Say a bigger game using the CD? We've done tests. We know it's definitely possible, but it's just purely a matter of spending 3 or 4 months developing the software and using the advantages of the CD, the speed and the storage, to do things which just haven't been possible before. People are always saying things like, how do you come up with the ideas? And how do you make them different? And to an extent, it's impossible. When a computer's been around for years and years and it's got hardware limitations, it's impossible to come up with something which really is new and innovative. But then, when you've got mass storage and speed as well, then it's bound to give us advantages which we didn't have before. So I think the software will undoubtedly be quite startling. But no, we haven't designed anything as yet. Would it be difficult to write a game that large and still sell it as a budget game? Well, you spend 3 or 4 months writing budget games anyway, and with mass storage you're not going to use it all on code. Obviously the majority is going to be graphics and sound, so for instance, you could have a game which had the same amount of coding but full screen animation digitized from a movie or something, and then pretty realistic high resolution sound samples on disc. And that doesn't take that much time to develop. It's just a matter of doing a deal with somebody who owns the rights to a movie. I've seen interactive CD and Laserdisc games in the past. What about those? I think we'll use something halfway in between. You can select tracks quite quickly on a CD. So if it was some sort of adventure, it could tell you, for example, to go to room 42. And it would only let you access the data if you solve some puzzle. So if you have a game like Treasure Island Dizzy with incredible graphics and sound with the same kind of gameplay, because you can load lots of data quickly. So your system is almost like a CD-ROM, except you have to have a person pressing the buttons rather than a computer on the CD player. Yes, and on most CD players you can select tracks very quickly. Presumably, you can't possibly construct something like a real CD-ROM because you can't run domestic CD players from a computer. And how do you get around the fact that there are so many different models out there? Well, Rainbow Arts, with their CD release, have gone through the phono jacks at the back. But we decided not to do that because there are an awful lot of CD players out there which don't have phono jacks. And with the stacking system, some of them are hardwired, some have got different plugs and so on, and that's why we went into the air jack. Which every CD player has got? Yes. But how many people do you think have both a compact disc player and a CPC? We've done a few competitions for winning an Amiga, and on the first one we had over 7,000 replies. Out of that, we did a survey on how many people who've got computers who've got CD players. And it's between 30 and 40%. So although we're aiming at 30 or 40% of the whole market we normally aim at, there's really only one product in that market. Whereas when we launch a game, we're competing with maybe 500 others. So we've got a hold of a third of the market. If you think of it that way, it's huge. Do you think parents are going to let kids use the CD player in the lounge? Well, when we did the survey, That was the question we asked. It was something that we worried about. And we were quite surprised because parents didn't really seem to mind. A lot of them had bought CDs so that the whole family could play music. And the big Japanese manufacturers always try and promote CD as not only offering superior sound quality, but as something that anybody can use. And the people that we asked were quite happy about their kids using it. They let them use it for music anyway. It's something they're already happy with. But don't most kids keep their CPCs up in their bedrooms? Well, they'll have to move either the CD player or the computer. I think they'll probably usually move the computer, and the cable's over 6 feet long. The story is that you spent £22,000 on leads already. That's quite an outlay. Well, when you deal with Taiwanese companies, as we did, you have to pay at least half up front. When you order something, they'll say we'll get it to you at this amazing price and this amazing time, but we want our money now. It's good because it's a good price, but with most Western countries, you get 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. So it's obviously much cheaper to use a Taiwanese company. Yes, it's just the way the whole country works, just like one big business. The government sends around leaflets about all the different companies selling all the different industries, and the companies are just really, really commercial. It's not that they use slave labour or anything, it's just that the business is so efficient. But aren't CDs expensive? Well, now we can get them for 90p each, including cases. I'm not sure, but I think CDs were over £2 not so long ago. And presumably, it's much easier to get people to duplicate CDs now. Is there a minimum duplication run? Yes, well, first of all, we've got to get the disc pre-mastered, where they take all the data and put it in a form that compact disc player can understand. Before and after the game, they'll put all sorts of codes which mean this is track 1, and that the counter should count down rather than up. And there's all sorts of control codes. They're called the PQ codes. You do all that, and then take it to a CD manufacturer on DAT, digital audio tape, and they use that to make the compact disc. You pay for the pre-mastering, and you pay for the mastering as well. You don't have to commit yourself to hundreds of thousands of discs. It's only a few thousand. I think it's 10,000. How many games packs do you think you'll sell over Christmas? I don't know. It's a big decision because, as I've said, we've already spent £22,000. I think we've only got 10,000 cables coming. And then we've got another 10,000 and another 10,000. The amount of interest in it we've had so far is amazing. It looks like we're just going to sell out immediately. Then we'll have to order more cables, which is the first time we've had that problem, because with tapes, you can get them duplicated in virtually any quantity virtually instantly. The cables, though, presumably, are the same for each machine. That's why we use a joystick port, so that we can have one cable and get the cost down. The fact that you've had to do 3 different CDs for the 3 8-bit markers, has that been a problem? It's just a problem for us, pruning the costs. If we got all the timings right, we could have put all the games on one disc. It's just that you wanted to get them out as soon as they were ready. Yes, every day before Christmas counts. People are buying their Christmas presents right now. We were thinking originally of one pack, which worked with the Spectrum, Commodore, and Spectrum, Amstrad, and Commodore. But we thought that would confuse people. We did quite a lot of store visits, watching people buy games and trying to work out why they buy them. And they got confused over very, very simple things. If Granny's going into a shop to buy a present for a kid for Christmas, it's confusing enough that it's on compact disc. How many games could you fit on the CD if you crammed it right to the limit? It changes on each computer. On the Commodore, we've got them saved twice. One's really fast and one's slower. From our tests, the really fast one is more reliable than the slow one, just because of the way the loader works. There was no real need to do it, we just thought we'd use up the rest of the disc. Are your CDs as foolproof as normal audio CDs? They're 100% reliable as long as the disc isn't damaged. What constitutes damage? Presumably scratches or finger marks will prevent the game's loading properly. No, it just depends how bad it is. The error checking is quite amazing. We've gone into this in quite a lot of detail. You can have quite a few scratches on the disc or fingerprints, and it won't make one bit of difference. All the data is loaded into the CD player and then it corrects it all, because it's got the data saved several times. The information is stored on the metal and whatever beneath the plastic surface of the disc. and 3 lasers look at it in different angles. This means that a scratch on the surface of the clear plastic layer would have to occur in 3 places to corrupt the data. So they really are very reliable, but if you've got a Brillo pad and scratch it, then it wouldn't work. But everyday wear and tear isn't going to make a difference. Got to be careful with it. And if you do scratch it, the way that it works is that if you clean it from the inside out, you'll be okay. You should never clean them with a circular motion. The data is stored in concentric rings around the center, but if you wipe from the center outwards, you can literally polish them up. I think most of all that everyone's surprised that Codemasters should pioneer something like this, because you'd normally expect one of the full-price software houses or a hardware manufacturer to do this sort of job. People think that purely because of the price of most Codemasters games, but that in itself is pioneering because we were one of the first companies to go in at a real low price. Major software houses tend to just follow well-proven formulas. So it's like an expansion, you're diversifying. Rich and I started off in this business programming. Then we learned how to get advertising done and talk to people like Boots and Smiths, and we learned all the marketing side of it. But it's really not what we specialise in. We specialise in development. We really want to get back to that. We've set up a marketing team and production team now. When you say development, do you mean in the broader sense or purely in terms of games? Well, at the moment, it's inventing hardware add-ons of various types. We've got hardware skills and people know now that we didn't have before. But we've also obviously got access to an awful lot of programmers who are very good at software too. So we have all 3 main skills. We know what sells and why and what people want in this industry. And we have access to both software and hardware production, including manufacturing in Taiwan. Oh, damn it. We've made a conscious decision over the past year or so then to get into wider areas. Well, we've always come with, oh, this would be a good idea. Like a really cheap fax machine worked out how to do it, etc., etc. And then you think, oh, God, it's going to take £2 million to fund it. And how can we market it and whatever. And we just got fed up with coming up with ideas and then them happening 2 years later. When you'd already thought of them? Yes. So we thought we'd start off producing things that we could fund that cost £50,000 or £100,000 or whatever, and then build them up from there. So with the CD compilation and the leads and so forth coming out, this is a sign that you're going to get into more than just software. Oh yes, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So you've got lots of other things going on that you can't tell us about. Yes, oh yes. David Darling laughs secretly and the interview is over. CD-ROM for £20? Well, technically. The prototype lead in all its naked glory. Production versions will have the circuitry molded into the joystick D connector. That's how CDs work. Forum, another postbag of problems solved by resident Boffin Adam Waring. ROM rumor. A little birdie told me that the ROM version of Protex is only compatible with 664s and 628s. Can you put my mind at rest and tell me if it's available for the 464? Harry, red car. Rubbish! Protex on ROM will work just as well in the 464. Rubbish! Double trouble. I own a CPC 464 and a Cheetah 125 joystick. I want to play a 2-player game of Emlyn Hughes International Soccer, but I don't want to have to buy the Amstrad JY2 joysticks. I've heard that you can't use any other make of joystick with a JY2. Is this true? If so, is there any other way of using 2 joysticks? S. Milner, Woodchurch. You've heard right, I'm afraid. The Amstrad joystick has an additional port to plug in joystick 2, which must be wired up differently to a conventional joystick. To overcome this problem, several third-party manufacturers came up with a joystick splitter. This device plugs into the joystick port and is wired to accept 2 standard joysticks. Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I've used the JY1. Was it JY1 or JY2? Where was the JY1? It had the joystick port in the extra joystick port in the base. It worked fine with whatever joystick we used. So I don't know. The joy of Hex. Here's the Mega Drive again. Oh, here's more forum. If we don't stock it, you'll probably don't need it. Playing with ProText or thinking right. Tired of boring old single font dotted line printouts? Peter Carousel pulls out all the pins and gives his printer a kick in the RS-232 in part 2 of his ongoing ProText series. That's it. Talking nonsense, all part 1 revisited. Next, how to get all this boiled down to a startup program and how to wrestle with the printer driver. Help, have you got Laws of Midnight for sale? We'll pay a reasonable price. Tape 464. Help, if I don't complete Castle Brunwald on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I'll crack up. Well, amazing you got that far. Smog says possibly one of the best CPC utilities ever. Thanks, Smog. Ollie and Lisa 3. Go for great new games in the cartoon time range from Codemasters. Hey, we're in an action test. We finally get together the games. We spent so much time talking about CD stuff that never got released. Christmas is here, and you'd better believe it. Just look at this little lot. Can Ghostbusters 2 save the world in the latest blockbuster movie license? A Batman beta, or the Spook Boys Last Crusade? Who you gonna call? Page 58, of course. That's the spirit. Ghosts and ghouls appear on page 56. AA spooks its mind. Operation Wolf for the under fives. AA turns its gun on Cabal in a fight to the finish. See page 60. Driving's biggest game gets bigger. AA test drives Turbo Outrun. The review's parked on page 54. Nightfall storms the screens and trail through time for sword fighting action. Turn to page 61. Who's bad? Michael Jackson. What about Moonwalker? The first CPC reviews on page 53. Altered Beast, the legendary arcade, comes to the CPC. Another coin-op classic. The gloves are off in this beat-em-up extravaganza on page something. Inner city violence is here with After the War. Have those dynamic Spaniards done it again? Page 67. Dizzy's back in an exclusive review. Can the Egghead do it again? Or are the Oliver twins getting excessive? See page 66. Quick draw actions here with Pictionary. Can it be done? For the full picture, turn to page 64. Also reviewed Operation Thunderbolt, Night Force, Tintin on the Moon, Lost Caves, Australian Rules Football, Wizard Willy, The Official Father Christmas, Epix Action, Winners, Dynamite, and Tubin. We've got plenty to get through. Right, so the first game is Operation Thunderbolt by Ocean. $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc, joystick or keys. Kill till your barrel melts. Strike with the speed of a cobra and hit with the force of a thunderbolt. Smash your enemy with skill, precision, and superior firepower. Your mission is to get in, get the hostages, and get out. Nearly a year has passed since you last went on the rampage in Operation Wolf. Now your particular brand of diplomacy, gunboat, is needed again. American civilians have been kidnapped and taken to a terrorist base deep in the African jungle. This mission promises to be your toughest ever, so you're given the option of taking a fellow psycho along for kicks. With 7 locations to liberate, going it alone makes the charge of the Light Brigade look like a sound tactical move. Point and shoot. That's all you have to do. Terrorists leap out to be blown away with bullets and grenades. The screen scrolls automatically towards you or horizontally past you as you stand there shooting. Larger vehicles require repeated bursts of fire or grenades to put them out of the business. Simple, really. Once you get the feel of your gun and where the shots end up. Special bonuses are dropped in by some friend in the clouds. Bulletproof jackets, ammunition, grenades, health care, and even laser sighting. Shoot them as they fall and they're yours. The levels alternate their direction. You go from advancing up a road to wandering around a base, but the difficulty always increases. There are bunkers to raid, rivers to cross, roadblocks to run, and camps to blow up. The final two sections have you rescuing first the plane and then the pilot. It all sounds very straightforward stuff, so why the excitement? Well, Operation Thunderbolt lacks in gameplay and makes up in a thrill-a-minute arcade action. Last year, the accuracy of Wolf arcade conversions stunned the CPC gamers nationwide, and Thunderbolt is no different. If you say so. It looks, feels, and plays better than the coin-op. The graphics are just as bright, the action is hectic, and the addictiveness of such a thoroughbred shootout is beyond measure. Ocean has not been content to sit on its laurels and turn out a wolf clone just to fill its piggy bank and empty yours this Christmas. The company has developed a two-player system that will have the best of friends at each other's throat, the worst of enemies fighting shoulder to shoulder. An imaginary line bisects the screen centrally. When a terrorist pops up into your view on your side, waste him immediately, although it's easier said than done. If he's on your mate's side, that's their problem, as that guy won't fire on you until he crosses that line. Of course, if you see a buddy's energy bar running down, then you could lend a hand, but disagreements are also likely to occur over the toys you can pick up. Due to the government cutbacks, they can only afford high-tech help for one of you. So if you want the laser sighting to improve your aim, or bulletproof vest to lessen damage taken, then you'll have to be pretty quick on the draw. With enemy fire raining in, life can get pretty fraught. You need to keep one eye on the guy you're shooting, one eye open for special weapons and health pods, one eye on your partner, and one more on your ammo. Without worries about where you're going, you can relax and just enjoy the fireworks, becoming totally absorbed in the gunplay. Staying alive, especially for the first few games, is tough. But those nice coding types at Ocean have implemented a variable credit system, so the better you play, the fewer credits, and vice versa. Operation Thunderbolt is anarchy at its two-player best. Terrorists overwhelm the screen and you and bullets, rockets and grenades are exploding everywhere, while tackily dressed hostages run hither and thither. As a one-player game, it's no cinch. The unplayed part of the screen constantly engaging your attention, drawing you away from the real threat. Brilliant is the only way to describe Thunderbolt. The graphics have been reproduced to near pixel perfection, and the programmers have refined the gameplay to make the whole game even better. Its slightly violent tone may upset some, but if you want to go to war this festive season, this is the game to fight for at the shops. Not a game for the faint-hearted. You'll finally get a chance to waste untold thousands of commie pinko liberal ratfinks in one long orgy of blood-soaked. I think we get the idea, Ed. First day target score complete stage 1. Second opinion. Great arcade graphics, but just another gun-toting bash. Green screen, tolerable. Save the pilot or walk home. Don't shoot all the hostages or it's game over. The verdict, graphics 91%. Arcade quality. Arcade speed. Sonic 63%. Explosion City. Haunting tune. Graph factor 95%. Gunplay has never been more fun. The worse you'll play, the more your credits. Staying power 64%. 7 different battles to fight. A real finger-aching joystick smasher. A rating 89%. A surefire hit. Okay. Now we can actually play a game. This one. Too many letters. TB crackers. Quectro. Infinite credits? No. No, we're not cheating. Ocean and Taito. Operation Thunderbolt. Two-zone joystick. Fine keys. Up, down, right. Player 1 start. Program Andrew Deacon. Text Ivan Horn. Music Jonathan Dunn. Pushing 2 or 3 does the same thing, just swaps keyboard and joystick. They just did the same thing. Right, let's go. Operation initiated. Rescue all hostages. Mission 1. Gather intelligence information. Use rockets. And get more rockets. I'm out of ammo. I'm out of ammo. Probably lay off the ammo a bit. of ammo. Continue. Restart. You are fatally wounded. Your mission has failed. I should probably not fire quite as much. Try that again. Still don't know what the key is for pistol or rocket. Was it the start button, perhaps? Oh gee, I'm dying already. Still life. Whew. Okay, so I get enter. Yeah, it's enter. The rocket doesn't seem to stop the helicopters. Dying. Okay. Made contact with intelligence agent and obtained information. Hit rate 27%. Yeah. Mission 2, confiscate ammunitions and means of okay. So, jeez, those rockets. This is getting a bit ridiculous now. I missed the ammo. But I only got one clip left. Right, I missed that one too. Pick it up, come on. dying. Continue. Let's go. Continue. Very far from the end. Raid successful. Got munitions and jeeps. Mission 3. Search enemy bunkers. Where's that cursor? Always lose where the cursor is. Dead. That didn't take long. Ow. A random tiny cat or whatever that just runs across the bottom of the screen. Jeez. You can't keep up with everything on the screen. It's really... You still got to aim the rockets. That was quick. Oh, no, rockets left. You are fatally wounded. Your mission has failed. Yeah, the game just gets more and more nuts. It looks like you keep your score and continue. It doesn't tell you how many credits you have left either. Good luck finishing the game. Alright, we'll move on. Next game is Moonwalker. For US Gold, $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc, joystick or keys. Michael Jackson's never die, they simply fade away. Well, that's what US Gold would have us believe. In Moonwalker, you play the part of the world's most public recluse on a crusade against drugs. There's little violence, and when you are caught by the enemy, you fade away in a shower of dust, losing hit records instead of lives. Following the film, if that's humanly possible, Level 1 takes you to the studios where MJ has just finished his Bad video. On the lot, he's confronted by a herd of mad autograph hunters and gangsters. Being such a shy, retiring soul, Mikey decides to leg it. His escape plans from the Baldric Book of Cunning, Volume 2, he'll disguise himself as a giant rabbit. The pieces of the suit are scattered throughout the studio and Jacko has to collect them. Using a radar at the bottom of the screen, you find the skies, avoid baddies, and make good your escape. As each bit of the costume is collected, your picky of Mike changes from that lovable weirdo into a giant rodent with buck teeth and huge floppy ears. Wrong film, Ed. Once you've got the motorbike, it takes you to the next level. The game changes gear. The chase is on as drug-dealing heavies and motorized groupies pursue you around the set. The thugs have set up roadblocks, and you need to get past them in the movie. MJ looks up, sees his lucky star, and bingo, he's a car. It's not that easy here. The stars have split into 10 orbs that must be collected before transformation. The bike is fast and ultra maneuverable, which is just as well as you weave in and out of side streets and between heavies. Using the radar, you track the orbs that leave the one nearest the roadblock to last. You can only stay as the car for 10 seconds, and it moves much slower than the bike. You also appreciate why young Mike has 20 discs to work through, as there are 5 stages to complete before this high-speed game of catch is over. Level 3 is the video smooth criminal, and here Mr. Nice Guy shows his true colours and starts shooting. He's back in human form to rescue friends from the evil druggies. In Club 30s, machine-toting bad guys pop up at the windows and start firing. Michael has to find a machine gun and ammunition, then trade shots. As he does. I'm sure it's something he's known for doing. He runs and jumps out of the way of bullets, leaping into the tables or upstairs to save his ever-diminishing supply of discs, while trying to take out 30 villains. The dealers don't hang around, so quick, accurate shooting is necessary, especially as ammunition is in short supply. Moving the stick moves MJ, pulling the trigger and waggling moves the gun sight. It's a hard battle to win as you soon get intensely claustrophobic, not knowing which way to run, jump or shoot. The fourth and final level is a showdown with the boss drug dealer. Your Jackson figure has transformed himself into a giant robot and is set to shoot it out in an arena with all the heavies. Mr. Big can muster. You stay stationary, swinging from side to side, blasting as baddies appear from everywhere. By this point, you're so low on lives, it pays to be cautious, because losing your last disc here means a return to the very beginning. Levels 1 and 2 are graphically limited by their gauntlet styling. 3 and 4 make amends. MJ moves like a human, well, almost model, leaping over shots and into furniture. Each level is previewed with a screen to depict the film, giving the game a fuller feel. The best graphical moment comes at the very beginning, where MJ's feet and famous quick, sparkly socks walk across your screen before giving a twirl. Completely superfluous, but very pretty. Being based on a musical film puts Moonwalker in an odd position. The sounds justifying the game. Attempts at 4 of Mr. Jackson's ditties accompany the levels, of which only Smooth Criminal pays dividends. 2 and 4 have pleasant but unrecognisable songs, while the unfortunate level 1 gets the baddest version of bad imaginable. Moonwalker succeeds as a compilation of games bound together by an anti-drugs narrative. None are particularly difficult, but levels 2 and 4 all exhibit exciting tendencies. 20 lives makes the whole epic attemptable in one go, and that's important. The dull first level needs more baddies and a smaller map. Once past there, the pace picks up, and you find yourself in Wacko's weird world. Odd, but fun. First day target score, reach level 2. Well, I doubt we'll have time to do that, somehow. Second opinion. A strange film and an even stranger license. Looks good, but makes virtually no sense at all. Green screen. Radar gets hard to follow. The verdict. Graphics 76%. Great moments. Sonic 72%. Smooth criminal sounds brill. Bad sounds, well, bad. Grab factor 21%. Level 1 is dull. And we're about to find that one out. Staying power 79%. 20 lives. 3 good games. Rating 78%. A strong game from a strange license. So yeah, we get to play the boring bit. That's all we're probably going to get to do. Okay. Fighting Moonwalker. Yeah, this is the system I grew up with. So, although I had a ZX81 before that and an Atari 2600. This is when I had the longest though. Michael Jackson Moonwalker. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, I played a lot of arcade games back in the day. Yeah, there's an arcade that opened up near where I live, so I just walk over there after school, play stuff for a few hours. Assuming I had like money to do so at that point. But anyway, let's get on with Moonwalker. Let's get bored with this first level. If anyone can explain this bit. Oh yeah, those were the days. That was a long time ago. Ah. Didn't run, that's something I guess. Find our way around. Key. Get up, thank you. Dead end. Oh. One piece over there. Maybe just gotta find a way there. Bye. Okay. Got one piece. Maybe one piece of whatever this costume is. Or whatever. Yeah. I do not know how many pieces there are. And you have 5 minutes to do it all in. Kinda need a map. Oh, you can walk on this. It's not a wall. It is a wall. Okay. Another piece. Yeah. got a thing. Alright, bye. Okay. Oh. I'm not sure you're supposed to do this in 5 minutes. Okay, this is where we started. I'm gonna run out of time this. Ugh. Oh! It exploded. Where did it take me? Well, we got time back at least if you die. I guess that's something. Urgh. That's the exit. Okay. Oh. Get over here. No, no, it looks normal. Okay, now we get back to the... Oh, no! Okay. We know where the exit is now. I'm sure we can go there. We'll find out in a minute. I guess. No. We have to get that one little thing left over here. Yes, we do. Okay. Okay, gonna get everything apparently. That way. Oh. Can't go through there. Gotta go around, huh? I think there's where I wanted to somehow. Ah! Dead end! Well. Straight down here? No. How do we get there? It's one last item. Around there. Oh! Oh! Here we go again! At least it does refill your time when you die. considerate of the game. Oh, no. Oh, this is going well. That was a little unavoidable. Gatekeeping this little area. This way. Here we go. Alright. Better. Dead end. How far down do we have to go to get to this one place? It's really annoying. If possible, it should be. There we go. Now we've got everything. Now just gotta get to the top right of the map again. That one piece is really out of the way. We've got 3.5 minutes to get to the Apparently there's something somewhere. Minutes. Ah, dead end. Yeah. I'm lost already. Oh, it was that way. Oh, we've got to put another time army now. That's dead end. This is going to be dead end, right? Make it on time. Yep, time out. This is it. Yeah, this is it. Whee! Flip this to the other side and press fire. Now we're wandering around here. Picking up orbs. This is another maze thing. Like stage 1, but faster. Ow! I didn't. It sends you right back to the centre of everything. Oh, watch it. This thing's coming after me. Ah! Oof. Oh, now we're the car. Didn't last long. Wait, what are we supposed to do? Oh no, that didn't work well, so well. He's gatekeeping. Let's gatekeeping it. Okay, now what? Oh! Ah, jeez. It moves a bit faster, there's nothing else, huh? Oh! Ah! I think we've played this long enough. I think you got the stage 2. I'll leave it at that now. This game's long. Let's move on. Right, next game is Turbo Outrun by US Gold. $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc, joystick or keys. Get your motor running and head out on the highway, looking for adventure and whatever comes your way. Automotor it is, a 3-litre V8 twin-turbo beast encased in glowing Italian racing red. The world's fastest car is here once again, this time in for an ultra-fast turbo outrun across the US of A. As Andy Warhol once said, one day everyone will play outrun for 15 minutes. He was right. The machines in their various guises have been one of the bigger arcade jumps out of your car. No, I think we're missing a bit there. He was right. The machines in their various guises have been one of the biggest hits since Pac-Man. The first home micro conversion, however, left a few little things out, like gameplay and speed. It was acclaimed as the only driving sim in the world that could be played by post. Following this debacle, Turbo had a lot to live down. Your Ferrari waits at the start. Is the arcade music tweeting away in the background and the New York scene all around. At the bottom of your screen sit two dials, one for speed and one for revs. Above are the two most important gauges of all, time and overheat. Time limits are tight, so care has to be taken to ensure a finish, if not victory. An overheat meter is needed, as such a tightly engineered power unit soon starts cooking. The clock ticks down, hit the fire button for turbo boost, and you're off. The pickup from a standing start is impressive, and soon you're pootling along at top whack. The cars in front don't really matter, just give them a quick nudge with your 600,000-pound baby, and they'll get the message that you're serious. There are only two opponents, the clock and a mysterious grey Porsche 959. Beating the clock's a must if you want to continue. While with the Porsche it's a question of pride. If he gets to the end of the stage before you, then the chick, I heard that broadly, oh no, jumps out of your car and goes to ride with him until you win another stage. That's the storyline. You blast through America, heading for California via Miami. Each section has a different backdrop and different characteristics. Pittsburgh, for example, is snowed under, and this has an often terminal effect on cars taking hairpin bends at 200 mph. Of course, you can always use one of the 3 pit stops to fine-tune your motor for the conditions ahead. The turbo comes into its own on the later sections. Blast of power needed to run roadblocks and smash boulders that have fallen into your path. Of course, if the turbo is overused, then it'll overheat. It'll be out of commission for a few seconds, leaving you straggling as each impact slows you down. The graphics are good, not stunning but clear. The car itself is superb, but some of the ancillary car sprites and side buildings appear with an alarming suddenness. The road is true to its arcade parent, not smooth but visible, as it would look at 200 mph plus, one assumes. The car responds a tad sluggishly to directional adjustments, effect that's increased on poor surfaces to represent loss of traction. These car characteristics take a while to get to grips with, but allow you to develop a feel for driving. Nudging other cars out of the way helps catch the Porsche in Bimbo's eye. Now, but here everything becomes confused, with the car behaving differently after each knock. The lack of any sound effects makes the game strangely remote too. The arcade accuracy of the tune is undeniable, but screaming tyres should accompany sudden arm-reaching corners, and not the pleasant little jingle. Turbo generally leaves you feeling quite distant. With all the attention having been lavished on the quality of the conversion, the magic ingredient of addictiveness has been lost. Even the tight time limits don't really make you want to race. Turbo is a thorough and convincing conversion of a classic arcade game that is now beginning to show its age. The results of this are clear, even in the conversion of the updated Turbo Outrun. Everything works, but there's nothing there to send you a pulse racing. In a world of car games, the original Pacesetter and its offspring now look a little long in the tooth. A quality conversion is no longer enough these days, and a game needs something special to make its mark. Turbo Strength is supposed to be the car on which it's based. But over the last year, there have been a plethora of F40, Crazy Cars 2, Twin Turbo V8, based games, and the world's most exotic hardware may not now be enough. First aid talent score, visit Chicago. Second opinion. Not the disaster its predecessor was, nevertheless, recent racing games have left it stalled on the line. The verdict: graphics 74%, great car, vague collisions. Sonics 50%, 100% for the tune, but no effects. Grab factor 38%, it never gets exciting. Staying power 64%, loads of roads, but we want to race them. A rating 64%, competent but dull. Huh. Okay. Okay, got another crack throw. Turbo Outrun, US Gold, Sega. No, we're not cheating. Turbo Outrun covers Sega Enterprises Limited or Rights Reserved. Produced by ICE. Program Alan Laird with John Bankier. Graphics Freddy. Music Uncle Art. It's produced by ICE, who also did Outrun. This might give us a clue for quality. Let's go. Transmission. Automatic. Turbo. These little tiny buildings. Tiny buildings. Oh, no. Take a little too hard. Turbo, go. Next stage, gotta load it in. most of it just told us that's what it was doing. So just a blank screen. Washington! Bonk, bonk. Oh. Out of my way! Next area. Pittsburgh. It's snowy. Well, that went well. Away. Four crits remaining. Continue. Sure. Pittsburgh. We have to start the stage all over again. It's hard to tell when there's corners sometimes. This road seems a little flat. Whoops. Is that turbo? Speed up quickly. Okay. Next bit. Indianapolis. no, time's running out. Oh, made it. What's next? Oh, tune up points. High grip tires, high power engine, special turbo. The engine. I guess go faster, I hope. Chicago! Oh no! Oh. Well, that was a mistake. Oh, okay. That seemed quick. St. Louis. Overheat. Overheat. I'm away, Copper. Everything police car on the stage. I'm away. Oh no. Well, that's probably that. Oh, no. Well, does that mean we need to switch flip disk? Do we have a flip disk option? No. Where are we? This one used. So yeah, second disk. That should fix it, hopefully. There you go, Memphis. It'd be nice to see a message say flip the disc. That would have been helpful. All these tumbleweeds? I don't know where they are. I can't see much though of the road. That's the problem. Three credits remaining. Continue. On to the next stage. Atlanta. Maybe it's me, but I don't think Atlanta's known for snow. Maybe it's unless it's meant to be sand or something. Alright, it's very white. That cop just nudged me. Oh no. Can't turbo yet. Okay. Wait, what? Does it turn the disc back? That's annoying if that's the case. Oh, we gotta do this. Gotta switch the disc back to do this. The high grip tires. You gotta switch. You gotta switch the disc back. Sheesh. It's a lot of disc flipping. Miami. Oh jeez. That was right in the middle of the road. Didn't see that coming. Really see where the road even is. White stripes on yellow is not a good colour. Oh. Okay, next stage. New Orleans. Oh no. Oh no. Two grits remaining. I'll go on one more. Oh, you just rammed into me. What's next? San Antonio. Oh, those trees you can't knock over. Oh no! Hard when you can't see much of the road. I can't speed up now. Oh no! Next stage. Dallas. Again, it looks like in fact that every car is a police car now. Look at them all. I disagree with that box. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. So yeah, that's Turbo Outrun. It's better than Outrun. That was a challenge or something. Yeah. Next game. Compilation to beat all compilations. Winners. Next game is Ghouls and Ghosts. A Capcom, $9.99 cassette, $14.99 disc, joystick or keys. A grave situation has arisen. In fact, the people in the graves have arisen too. A bunch of interdimensional nasties, who go by the epithet of the Evil Ones, have returned to Earth and are commanding the armies of ghouls and ghosts. The first part of their cunning plan involves the kidnapping of Princess Huss, girlfriend of that knight for a day, Arthur. Arthur is someone you may have met before, way back when people like Strider weren't even a blip on their programmer's monitor. He starred in that early elite classic, Ghosts and Goblins, where he hacked, slashed, and generally killed as many supernatural beasties as you could lay a sword on. Didn't have a sword though. Well, I mean, he threw it all the time. That battle was against the Evil Ones too, so this time it's for keeps. Ghouls is a straight sequel, the gameplay and plot remaining almost identical to Ghosts, with just a few new ideas and tricks being brought into play. Arthur has to cross a horizontally scrolling landscape within a set time limit, throwing weapons in front and above to clear his path of spectral beasties. Monsters rise out of the unmarked graves, mutant plants spit seeded death, and every now and again an ultra big super ghost ambles on scene. Dodge, shoot, and move are your only options as you cross bridges, castle battlements, and cornfields. As a player, there aren't many courses of action to choose from, but the right one is to taken at the right moment, or you're in big trouble. Moved by simple joystick commands, Arthur runs, jumps, and ducks. All you have to do is learn the landscape, and it's a cakewalk. Once you know where a bridge collapses, the vulture lives, or ghosts emerge, life becomes a whole lot easier. There are 5 different levels for you to conquer, each featuring a number of restart points. Level 1 starts you in a field hot on the trail of the Evil One's castle. Ghosts are pouring out of the ground, and all you've got is a sword. Well, thousands of them actually, to defend yourself. Luckily, you're clad in shiny new armour. You can take one direct hit from a baddie before it disappears, leaving you in your boxer shorts. Embarrassment will be the least of your worries, though, when a horde of blood-sucking turtles are breathing down your neck. Occasionally, the undead make you dead. Leave you. What? Occasionally, the undead you make dead leave you a little prezi in the form of point scoring, extra armour, or a more heavy duty weapon, throwing axes, deadly frisbees, and short range magic grenades are but a few. The landscapes determine the best strategies. Castle sections require a lot of ladder climbing, which has to be timed perfectly. Open ground involving more pit jumping and running over hillsides and buildings. That's all there is to the game, which in many ways is its strength. Essentially, a simple concept. It seeks to attract you through the trickiness factor, sheer volume of opponents. The graphics reflected this in the original game, bold and straightforward, artistry sacrificed for accessibility. Ghouls is a sequel which follows in much the same vein, with basic sprites and strong, straightforward backdrops. Yet, even Ghosts looked sparse and unsophisticated in its day, and with Ghouls it's doubly the case. The graphics look as if they were drawn out 3 years ago. Yet, with an intentionally quirky theme tune to help things along, Ghouls almost works, being addictive and fun to play, or being both addictive and fun to play. The poor graphics do, however, put pay to any long-term appeal. The selection of weapons and second chance armour take the game that much further, but not far enough. First day target score, finish level 1. Second opinion, the graphics are ghastly in all the wrong ways. Still quite playable once you get into it though. Green screen, green ghouls look fine. Get hit once you lose your armour. Kill this guy, finish level 1. Okay, verdict. Graphics 36%, unsophisticated sprites. Sonic 62%, fun theme. Average spot effects. Graph factor 61%, curiously fun to play. X visual appeal. Staying power 56%. 5 tough and long levels. Shows to be cute but fails. Cute? How do you make it cute? A rating 49%. Fun but very limited. Graphic. What? Oh, graphic farce. Okay. Well, I get to play this now. Okay. I'll go with that button. Here we go. Infinite credits? Nope. Ghouls and Ghosts, Capcom, convention for US Gold by Software Creations. Conversion for US Gold by Software Creations. Amstrad CPC version. Programmed by Dean Belfield. Graphics by John Tatlock and Ben Jackson. Music by Tim Follen. Good music, turn it up. Capcom 988. Current 989 IREM Corp. Licensed from IREM Corp. Rights reserved. Don't ask. Joystick. This joystick's already selected. Alright, let's go. Play the game. Oh, here's our dude. Whee. Well, just like the original, we've got hardware scrolling. I suppose it's something. Let's pop up right in front of you. That's fine, I'm sure. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, got too close. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, and dead. Too late. Back to the beginning you go. just pop up and right on top of you if you let them. Climb the ladder, you idiot. Come on. Oh, knife. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Wow. Oh, jumping these things is difficult. That's one thing I've learned about this. Got a rain effect though, so it's something. Oh, good. Hitboxes are a thing. Oh no, I didn't run into that. Game over, that's it. Game with 3 lives, that's it. Continues, you don't need continues. Oh, there's a continue. Sure, we'll continue. Oh, jeez. It's hard to avoid these damn things. Just as it scrolls on, it's right there in front of you. Oh, can't jump through that. Oh, he stopped. This bit is annoying. Yeah, it's right there, just as you. Just as you. Oh, jeez. Oh, no, and he stopped. Game over. Continue. Sure. Try it again. I haven't got past this bit yet. That didn't work. They seem to be random where they appear. It's really annoying. Oh, my foot. Foot grazed it. Maybe we'll be lucky. Oh no, it just appeared right there. Oh no. God damn it. This section can't end soon. Enough. Stop. What you stop for? Oh. It's right there. That's it. 3 continues. 2 continues. All you get. Try again. Why is that bit so hard to get through anything? Oh, shit. Gotta get that quick. Oh, got the knife again. You'd think there was no other weapon. Pretty sure there is. Wait. Oh no, I didn't run. That was stupid. Why didn't I just wait some more? He's in a rush. Really seem to get some iframes when they appear, which is good. Just like Bomb Jack. Oh jeez. Damn it. Okay. Really? Okay. Yeah, no. Couldn't get over that. Oh no. Well, here we go again. Where are 2 hearts? Perfectly timed for the 90 seconds. Oh. Try again. I get past this bit somehow. I'm sure I've done it before. Just gotta... What were you supposed to do? Ah! Damn it, really? Oh, duck. Oh, jeez. Oh, we did it. Don't have those tentacle things that appear in the arcade version. Which is a good thing, that they're annoying. Oh, God. Oh, that didn't work. I've got to go through this again! Oh, really? Oh, no! Let's continue. Jeez. Oh, jeez. Damn it, they're trying. Oh, God. Oh, too close. Do it all again! Oh, God, I was supposed to dodge that. Ah! Jeez. Oh, jeez. Damn it, really? Damn it. It's a bit stupid. Oh, that's it. Oh, God. How are you supposed to react to that? The problem with push scrolling. Reacting to anything. Whatever, one more attempt. That's not what I wanted to push. No indication that you stick joystick that actually did it. Let's go. Can we... Is there... Oh! Do you have it in chests? Okay, I'm a duck now. It didn't last long. Well, what am I going up there for? I don't need to go up there. Yep. Do it all again. We've got armor for no reason now. Knife. Oh, damn it. Bird. Oh no, I did that again. I did it all again. Oh no, it's the axe. Oh, I don't think I want the axe. It's anything like the arcade version. And I got it anyway. Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh, good. Oh, like you're supposed to avoid it or something. Try this bit again. Oh, damn it. Look, it's supposed to react to that quickly. It's annoying. Oh, and he stopped. Just like that. They seem to come at specific intervals, but nope. Couldn't jump that one. Oh no! Oh. Ugh. Oh, but where's that one there? Oh, what are supposed to do? I can really avoid that, I guess. Ugh. Reacting to this is a difficult bit. Sometimes you'll be lucky. Just lucky. Okay. Now that stupid weapon. Oh, god damn it. Oh, it didn't go far fast enough. Because this weapon's stupid. Oh, we'll go through this again. And that'll hit me, because we'll... Oh no! Oh god. Oh, really? That was close. That worked. Yeah, we're getting the boss. I suppose it's something. Oh, there he is. We got him! I think. Yeah, that's it though. Game over.